Okay, for this video, we are still on section 5.4 in your notes. This is number 13 through 16. The instructions state to determine if the binomial is a factor of the polynomial. Basically, what it's asking is this right here a factor of this over here? Just like we factored above, if we factored this whole thing down, would we get this as one of the factors? Quick and easy way of doing that is through synthetic division. Which, if you didn't learn that before, you need to back up to the previous section, 5.3, maybe 5.2, I think it's 5.3, and learn how to synthetic divide. Divide synthetically, I guess, if that's how you'd say it, but whatever. All right, so remember, first things first, take that and flip it. So we've got instead of a positive one, it's a negative one. Next, let's erase that, there we go. It's a negative one. We'll set up our line. And then we put out our coefficients. X cubed is a 1. There is no x squared, so it's a 0. The single x, that's a negative 13, and then a negative 12. And I'll extend my line over here. And then remember, you drop down, then multiply, divide. Multiply, add, multiply, add, multiply, add. So we'll drop down the 1. 1 times negative 1 is negative 1. Add those up, you get negative 1. Multiply those, you get positive 1. Positive 1. Negative 13 plus 1 is negative 12. Negative times negative is a positive. And those add up to 0. Okay, so we got this with a remainder of 0. And since we got a remainder of 0, that means this goes evenly into that. Therefore, it is a factor. So, if I were to factor this x cubed polynomial, I could factor it down, and at this stage in the game, I would have x squared minus x minus 12 as one of my factors, and the other one as x plus 1. So the answer, in short, is yes. All right, but I'm just showing you where we're going with this. We are actually going to use synthetic division to factor. So we pull out the x.1, we got this one, and later on we're going to factor this one down further, which two things that multiply to negative 12 and add up to negative 1 are negative 4 and 3. So we have x minus 4, x minus 3, and x plus 1. So later, like I said, we are going to factor this completely using synthetic division. But as of right now, we're just saying, hey, is this a factor or not? All right, I'm just giving you a brief idea of where we're going. All right, number 14. Same idea. Take this one over here, flip it. Don't forget to flip. You got to flip it. Flip it good. Okay, so negative 5. Put up our line, and then 3 is x cubed. X squared is 7. The single x is negative 8. And the y-intercept is negative 5. So drop it down. Multiply, add, multiply, add, multiply, add. So drop down to 3. 3 times negative 5 is negative 15. Add those up, you get 8. Oh, sorry, negative 8. Negative 8 times 5 is positive 40, minus 8 is 32. 32 times negative 5 is, really don't feel like adding that up, but whatever. 5 times 2 is 10. 5 times 3 is 15, plus the 1 is 16. The negative, then that adds up to negative 165, okay? So, we would end up with this polynomial, but bigger thing we got is we get this remainder. Since we did not get 0, the answer is no. X plus 5 is not a factor. Okay? Bottom line is this. If you use synthetic division, if you get a remainder of 0, the answer is yes, it's a factor. If you get a remainder of anything else, positive, negative, or whatever, the answer is no, it is not a factor. Okay? Try 15 and 16 on your own right quick, and then continue. All right, number 15, same idea. Hopefully you've done this on your own already. So what we're going to do, I'm just going to burn this real quick. It's x minus 2, so we use a positive 2. Pull out your coefficients. X to the 5th is 6. X to the 4th is negative 8. X to the 3rd is positive 6. X squared is negative 4. And the y-intercept is 0. Still got to use the 0. And then drop down. Multiply, add, multiply, add, multiply, add, multiply, add. Drop down to 6. 6 times 2 is 12. Add those up, you get 4. 4 times 2 is 8. Add those up, you get 8 plus 6 is 14. 14 times 2 is 28. Drop that down is positive 24. Multiply that, that's 48. That's up 48. And let me check my math real quick. 6 times 2 is 12. Add those up, you get a positive 4. 4 times 2 is 8. Add those up, you get positive 14. Yeah, I did it right. For some reason, I thought this one was supposed to come out to a yes. But
why don't you have 2 zeros?
oh, I should have 2 zeros. Thank you, sweetie.
You're welcome.
I should have a second 0 here, so back up. I should have a second 0 here, one for the x and one for my y-intercept. She's right, but still, it still is not going to come out. So 48 times 2 is 96. Add those up, you get a positive 96. So in this case, we get that as the remainder. So the answer is no. X minus 2 is not a factor. All right. Last but not least, that's why my wife watches me do this. I only teach Algebra 2. She teaches Calculus, so I'd like to say she's better at me than me, and the answer is yes, she is. Anyways, I love you, sweetie. All right. We got -5.
Sorry.
I know it's true. I don't care. X to the 4th, that's 3. X cubed, that's 15. X squared is -1. There is no x, so it's a 0. The units, the y-intercept is a 25. So here we go. Drop it down. Multiply, add, multiply, add, multiply, add. So we'll pull in the 3. 3 times -5 is -15. That goes to a 0. 0 times 0 is -5. Not -5. -1. -1 times -5 is 5. Add that up is 5. 5 times -5 is -25. Yay! And that adds to 0. So for this one, the answer is yes. This is a factor. And if you were to pull this on out again, remember this is your y-intercept, x to the 0. This is x to the 1, x to the 2, x to the 3. So if you were to write this out, you would still have a 3x cubed minus x plus 5 as one of your factors. The other one would be x plus 5. And I don't know if this is prime or if it can go down further or not, but we would be factoring that down further if we could. Honestly, probably by using synthetic division, because this one doesn't look as much fun. But anyways, that's the bottom line of what's going on. All right? Thank you.